The credit crunch. Remember that? An overused buzzword which was consigned to the history books over 12 years ago when some of the world's largest Tier 1 banks had serious issues with liquidity due to what was considered at the time to be irresponsible lending to retail customers who quite simply didn't have the resources to pay back the loans they'd taken out. Here today, 12 years later, the whole world is very different. The whole financial infrastructure is very different. However, an elephant in the room still remains, and that is that lending today is not sustainable. We've seen today FTSE 250 listed Provident Financial, which is basically a home service company that sends representatives round to people's houses. It's been around for 141 years. It's a very analog way of doing business, going to a home, writing out a loan at a very high interest rate that quite simply people in many cases can't afford, and then as a result, they've packed up the business today. Shares are down, and that's another example of a credit company that is no longer looking towards extending credit to people. Credit card companies have curtailed their balance limits, regardless of any issue in terms of credit history. Credit rating agencies, Equifax and Experian, have started to actually rate people's credit ratings down for no apparent reason. Nervousness is here. So, the upside of that is that people who may have taken loans in the past are now resorting to trading instead. So we've seen huge increases in trading volume from retail CFD and retail indices trading versus a downturn in people taking out loans. So maybe this is the new economy. Maybe nobody wants to make repayments anymore and they want to take ownership of their own financial future and get their extra cash flow from trading rather than from borrowing. Maybe this is the way forward, at least if no one owes money, and those who have the ability to do some sort of analytical research rather than rely on borrowing money and repaying it from future earnings, we may have a sustainable retail economy.